do we have today in the archives?
This tape right here.
All right, we're back on the bus. Here's the scene. 1986. Kesey in the front seat. That's the chief right there. We're headed south to San Francisco. El Dorado Cadillac. Yeah, smooth ride. RZ at the wheel. RZ, love you, buddy.
Fax is where we used to come when we'd go visit somebody that lived up that way. A lot of the dead lived up this crack for a long time. They've lived up these cracks a lot. Down here, this didn't used to be here. This sprung up after a rain. Now there's a woman. She used to work down there before the thing mushroomed up. She was a Rolfer. She Rolfed you. You know what being Rolfed is? People who are fucked up get a twist in their spine and a hitch in their get-along, see? And a good Rolfer can look at the way your spine is twisted and know what's messed up in your mind. And so their theory is, their theory is to straighten your mind out. You got to straighten your body out. So they get in there and they wrench and rush and push and twist and hurt you a lot. And you scream. And then you pay them. And the louder you scream, the more you pay them.
They work with leather? Not leather work?
No, they don't work with leather. They work with vices and knees and holds and twists and turns. It's San Anselmo. We're just doing just fine. This is now San Anselmo. All of these are named after saints. Saint Anselmo, you know how you get to be a saint is the Pope named you a saint because they proved you could do something? Saint Anselmo was able to make mint tea out of water. He was a minor saint. Anselmo, get in here. Turn this water into mint tea. Okay, you gotta leave the room though, he says. You've probably heard about the Mount Tam murderer.
Mount Tam.
Uh-huh. It's Mount Tamalpais. Tamalpais, not Tamalpais. The Tamalpais murderer and raper and horrendous badnesser. He did bad things to women. So what they did is they formed a Mount Tam emergency group of dancing women, and they went up and they held an exorcism on this mountain and danced magical dances all over that mountain and drawed him out. And they drawed him out and caught him and put him in jail. Just like the Maenads in the ancient Grecian times, you know? Tearing rabbits apart and throwing the bloody entrails into the air. Dancing, wild, heathen shrieks, their hair swirling around them like kelp. Flecks of rabbit blood in the air.
No, I don't remember that.
That happened. Ann Halpern, she was the head of the dancer group that did it. We're going down this road feeling bad. We're going down this road feeling bad. There's a horse over there.
Kind of stiff, though.
Old Steffo, is what they call him. They every so often grease him up and he begins to creak forward. Now it's very important to be healthy if you live in Marin County. First you got to drive a Volvo. Here's Botorino and Ratto over here. Ratto is a smaller partner in the business. He's the guy that does the tuck and the tuck and roll. You can see where this little guy over here to the right of us has been spitting some nasty shit, man. I can't remember. We came across the Golden Gate a lot with Cassidy, but it wasn't his neck of the woods. Cassidy liked hanging out over into the Oakland and Berkeley area. This neck of the woods, this is where a lot of the dead came and lived. It was right back up that crack, as I recall, at Stinson Beach. That's where we went for the Muir Beach acid test, man. That's a windy mother road. We went back up there, and it's where everything really came together. It was just before Christmas, and we had a great, huge Christmas tree. And we had somehow wired it to where we could, when we changed the strobe effect on the strobe light, we were also getting the Christmas tree lights to go on and off too. So the Christmas tree in the whole room, it was going with the wait for the midnight hour as the acid was coming on and going on the ring, midnight hour. The whole thing blinking on and off like that. till pretty soon everybody was moving like automated zombies to this beat. And then we would always segue right in, see, that as the dead would leave, we would play. This is still before they cared about whether we used their equipment or not. And then we found ourselves way the hell over there, way away from anything and way loaded. Owsley got out and had to leave, had that business to tend to, had to go home. Got in the car and headed off. Pretty soon he showed back up. He was all bruised and banged up. He'd flown for a while. He wanted to tell us all about it. Babs was all crunched up in a corner, all sprawled out with his bass in his lap, and wasn't saying anything. His hat pulled down over his eyes. He was just playing his bass, dum 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 dum, as Owsley was talking. And Owsley, we had the whole room set up with a good figure 8 of echo, so every little sound echoed, and everything was. This was a strung out time in the morning. And Owsley found that you could drag a chair across the floor and get a sound like an airplane coming in. And Babs going boom, 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 boom. It was memorable. Wasn't long after that the Mount Tam rapist made his appearance. Now we're approaching the Golden Gate Bridge. Golden Gate Bridge is a specially built bridge. 280 people were killed on the building of it, divers mostly, underneath the water. They had to dive down there and do all this stuff. They had to make these tall, tall things so that they can slide the bridge down it and dip it in the water and wash it clean once a month or so. So sometimes you'll come out here and there won't be anything left but the spans. The bridge will be completely underwater. Then they'll bring it up and they'll begin to paint it. They paint it regularly. They paint it steadily. They paint it continually. It's never finished. By the time they reach one end, they got to go back to the other end and start again. They paint it continually. Approaching now the tunnels. And when you get to the end of this tunnel, you want to turn around and look backwards, Swan, and shoot the end of the tunnel because you'll see the rainbow that lets you know that you're in Rainbow Land. This is the Marin County Rainbow. Down here now is where Sausalito gave birth to the gay movement. It was done out there on houseboats. A lot of these sailors been out to sea quite a while, and the waves were rocking and the boat was moving with a sensual movement. All those rugged, sun-tanned lads. That's suntanned, I believe. not sun-tanned. This is where you can get blown off right here. Sometimes there's these huge gusts blow people right off the damn thing. That's where people come, they check them out now when they walk across here. That person there, for instance, they're both of them wishing the other person wasn't there because they'd like to jump. 2 axles?
Oh, that's his
We'll-
truck.
We got 2 axles. It's true, I guess. We do have 2 axles. It's Alcatraz out yonder. See it, they're pushing it along with a tugboat. Holy duck sweat, what happened to Lombard? They serve the almost perfect burger there at Clown Alley. They serve a really good burger. Almost perfect. They always do some little thing so that it'll let you know that it won't be perfect. Something like they'll spit in it. Or dab it under their armpit. Use a piece of limp lettuce. Now right over here is, if I'm not mistaken, and I might be, if I look back up that direction, that is the old Bohemian Club. I went there one time. No woman has ever set foot inside that.
Is that right?
Yep, they carry them in. They carry it so they can continue to say no woman has ever set foot in here. Maybe this is the place here.
It's pine.
I think that was it back there. Lots of people belong to the Bohemian Club, like Richard Nixon and George Bush and Arm & Hammer.
Spiro Agnew.
Spiro Agnew probably was a member. I had this friend that was a member, and they rushed me for a while to see if I wanted to be a member. The Bohemian Club every year goes out to a grove called Bohemian Grove, and they do unspeakable rites with old rich men and these women who have never set foot inside the Bohemian Club.
in selling this here car, sir?
I'll trade it straight across.
Pick it up, I think.
Get it anyway. Here's San Francisco ahead of us.
Down memory lane. Thanks for checking it out. Build community. I love you.